Hi, it's Ben here and I'm with Luca today and we're going to be showing you how to do a handstand flat back on the vault. Before we move on to the vault, the gymnast needs to be able to do a handstand. So what we're going to do is just check their understanding is get them to do a handstand flat back on the floor. So Luca's going to demonstrate how this should look. So now we know that the gymnast is confident doing a handstand and landing on their back. It's time to start teaching the gymnast how to block. So we're going to do this on the floor. He's going to start with his arms down, ready to swing his hands into the floor, and he's going to try and do a handstand hop. So he's going to demonstrate what one of these looks like now. So he wants to go into the floor with a rounded back, rounded chest, and block upwards as high as he can into a nice straight body shape. Nice. So once the gymnast is confident blocking on the floor and they're doing good hops, the next thing we can do is make them do it onto a higher mat. So here we can get him used to blocking and blocking his feet upwards. So he steps, he circles his arms, blocks off the floor, and he lands in a nice handstand position. So we show you one more time. Nice. So now the gymnast understands how to block and do a handstand flat back. Before we take them onto the vault, it's a good idea to get them to do it on the floor. So Luca's going to demonstrate a handstand flat back from a push onto his back on the floor using a mat. So Luca's going to demonstrate this now. So once the gymnast has done this onto one mat comfortably, it's time to add another mat to encourage the gymnast to block off a little bit higher. So Luca's going to demonstrate what this looks like now. So as you can see, he lands in a slight dish shape, but when he takes off in his handstand, he wants to still have his heels first. So you need to get the heel drive over the top as he blocks, and he'll sit up into a dish shape, ready to land his handspring. So Luca's going to show us one more, a little bit higher, onto 3 mats now. So an exercise you can do to progress the block off the floor is to use a wall or a block or something where they can push off the wall and push off the floor and see how high they can get their feet on there. So you might want to use a mat or something soft that they can land on or support this by their hips. But Luca's going to demonstrate what you can use against the wall, which is a handstand hop, trying to get your feet as high up the wall as you can. So this is going to really encourage the gymnast to block upwards and make sure they get the nice shape ready to do their handstand flat back. So another exercise that we can use to teach the gymnast to block off the floor or the vault is to push off a wall horizontal. So Luca's going to demonstrate what this should look like, but they should push into the wall, and as they come off, they should be in a nice straight body shape and land in a nice handstand shape on the floor. So now the gymnast is confident blocking off their hands, it's time to start using the springboard. If you haven't already watched our video on how to take off, please do watch this as it will teach you the takeoff positions and how to react from the springboard. So what Luca's going to do now is show us how to block off the springboard and do the handstand flat back onto a low surface first. So Luca's going to go on here. So he goes to do this on nice low mats to start with. As you can see, he lands in a handstand and then he pushes off. So in the first instance, they're just going to jump to handstand and they will fall off their back. And then once we start to get the gymnast more confident, they'll be able to block off the vault and they'll be able to make sure they get some height off the block as they push off their hand. So the next stage is to build the mats up a little bit higher so the gymnasts start to get more confident going onto a higher platform. What I would suggest with the gymnasts, even on the lower blocks when they start off with, if you've got a smaller gymnast, is to support them through the jump to handstand phases and the handstand flat back phases. So we're going to show you now some different ways in which you can support your gymnast in learning the handstand flat back. I hope these exercises today have helped you in teaching your gymnasts how to do a handstand flat back on the vault, and please remember to start using straight front exercises as this will really help your gymnasts get the heel drive that they need to perform a good handspring.